Have you ever wondered why people behave the way they do? Welcome to our exploration on the intriguing world of behavioral psychology. Diving into this science, we delve into the realm of the mind and its influence on actions and reactions. But what exactly is behavioral psychology? It's a field of psychology that focuses on the observable behaviors of individuals. It seeks to understand why we do what we do, from the simplest actions like picking up a pen to complex processes like making life-altering decisions. But it's not just about observing behavior. It's about understanding the complex interplay of internal and external factors that shape it. This includes our thoughts, feelings, and the environment around us. From the classroom to the courtroom, and from the workplace to our personal lives, behavioral psychology plays a crucial role. By understanding behavioral psychology, we can better predict, explain, and even influence human behavior. Many people have misconceptions about human behavior, often oversimplifying or misunderstanding the factors that influence it. One of the most common misconceptions is the belief that behavior is solely determined by personality. While it's true that our personality traits do play a role in shaping our behaviors, they're far from being the only factor. Human behavior is not a solo performance by personality on the stage of life. Instead, it's more like an intricate ballet, with multiple dancers representing factors such as genetics, environment, and learned experiences, all moving together to create the dance of behavior. Take, for instance, the role of genetics. Our genes contribute to our behavior by influencing things like our temperament or how we react to situations. But they don't determine our actions outright. They merely set the stage, providing a range of possibilities that can be influenced by other factors. Next, consider the environment. Our surroundings can have a profound impact on our behavior. Think about how you might act differently in a library versus a rock concert. The same person can behave very differently based on the social context they're in. So, it's clear that the environment is another dancer in this ballet of behavior, moving in tandem with our personality and genetics. Of course, we can't forget about learned experiences. Every experience we have, every lesson we learn, shapes our behavior in some way. If we touch a hot stove and get burned, we learn not to touch hot stoves in the future. This process of learning from our experiences is a fundamental part of human behavior. And yet, another common misconception is the belief that people always act rationally. If only that were true. In reality, our behavior is often influenced by our emotions, biases, and subconscious mind. We might make decisions based on a gut feeling or act out of fear or anger. We're not always rational actors, carefully weighing the pros and cons before making a decision. Sometimes we're more like pinballs, bouncing around based on our feelings and instincts. So where does this leave us? With a much more complex picture of human behavior than many people realize. It's not just about personality or rational decision-making. It's about the intricate interplay of genetics, environment, learned experiences, emotions, biases, and so much more. Understanding behavior requires more than just common sense. It requires a thorough understanding of the complex interplay of factors that shape it. So the next time you find yourself asking, why did they do that? Remember the ballet of behavior. Remember the multiple factors that shape our actions, and keep in mind that behavior is often more complex than it seems at first glance. To better understand human behavior, let's delve into some key theories in behavioral psychology. Two of these significant theories are operant conditioning and social learning theory. Let's start with operant conditioning. Now, this theory was proposed by B.F. Skinner, a well-known psychologist, and it explains how behavior is influenced by its consequences. Imagine a child receiving a piece of candy every time they complete their homework. This is an example of positive reinforcement, a concept of operant conditioning, where a pleasant consequence follows a behavior, thus increasing the likelihood of that behavior repeating in the future. On the flip side, there's also something called negative reinforcement, which is about removing an unpleasant stimulus to increase a behavior. Think about when you put on your seatbelt to stop the annoying beep in your car. The removal of the irritating sound encourages you to wear your seatbelt, doesn't it? But operant conditioning isn't just about reinforcements. It also involves punishments, which are consequences that reduce the likelihood of a behavior. If a child is scolded every time they throw a tantrum, the unpleasant experience may decrease the likelihood of them acting out in the future. Now let's move on to the second significant theory, social learning theory. This idea, brought forward by Albert Bandura, suggests that behavior is learned through observation and imitation. You see, we don't always need to experience consequences directly to learn. Sometimes we learn just by watching others. Remember when you were a kid and saw your older sibling tie their shoelaces? You probably observed them and then tried to imitate their actions. That's social learning in action. Or consider how you might pick up mannerisms or phrases from your favorite TV characters. Again, that's social learning, showing us that our behaviors are not always shaped by direct experiences. And then there's the concept of self-efficacy within social learning theory. This is all about our belief in our ability to succeed in specific situations. If you believe you can ace that job interview, you're more likely to prepare thoroughly and perform well. So, our beliefs about our abilities can shape our behaviors too. These theories, operant conditioning and social learning, provide powerful lenses through which we can better understand why people act the way they do. They remind us that our behaviors are not random or chaotic. Instead, they are shaped by a complex interplay of reinforcements, punishments, observations, imitations, and self-beliefs. The more we understand these theories, the better we can predict and influence behavior, whether it's our own or that of others. These theories provide powerful lenses through which we can better understand why people act the way they do. But how does behavioral psychology play out in real life? Let's explore some compelling examples. Consider the thrill seekers among us, those who engage in risky behaviors like skydiving, bungee jumping, or even extreme sports. What drives them towards these adrenaline-pumping activities? From a behavioral psychology standpoint, it's often about reinforcement. The rush they feel is a powerful positive reinforcement, encouraging them to repeat the behavior, despite the inherent risks involved. Now, let's shift gears and talk about social media, an integral part of our modern lives. Ever wondered why you find it hard to stop scrolling through your Instagram feed? This is where the concept of operant conditioning comes into play. The intermittent likes and comments you receive work as rewards, reinforcing your behavior of continuously checking your feed. Another fascinating example lies in the realm of shopping. Ever found yourself buying items you don't really need during a sale? That's the scarcity principle at work, a concept deeply rooted in behavioral psychology. The fear of missing out on a good deal triggers in us a sense of urgency, pushing us to make impulsive purchases. And let's not forget the impact of behavioral psychology in our workplaces. The application of positive reinforcement, like praise or rewards, can significantly boost employee productivity and morale. On the flip side, negative reinforcement, such as the threat of losing a job, can also influence an employee's behavior, though often leading to stress and dissatisfaction. Lastly, consider public health campaigns. Why do some succeed while others fail? Successful campaigns often leverage the social learning theory, which suggests that people learn behaviors by observing others. For instance, anti-smoking campaigns that depict the negative consequences of smoking can deter potential smokers, influencing their behavior in a positive way. As you can see, behavioral psychology provides valuable insights into why we act the way we do in various situations. In conclusion, understanding behavioral psychology is not just about academic curiosity. It has profound implications for our everyday life. This branch of psychology holds the key to unlocking why we act the way we do. It's like a backstage pass into the human mind, providing insights into our actions and reactions, our habits and quirks. From our deep dive into operant conditioning, we've seen how rewards and punishments shape our behavior. Social learning theory, on the other hand, has shown us the power of observational learning and the influence of our social environment on our actions. But it's not just about understanding, it's also about application. Behavioral psychology can help us predict and explain human behavior. Yes, but it can also guide interventions. helping to modify harmful behaviors and encourage positive ones. By understanding why people behave the way they do, we can foster better relationships, create healthier environments, and even influence positive change. Now that you've delved into the intriguing world of behavioral psychology, what are your thoughts? Let's keep this conversation going. Drop your insights, queries, or even personal experiences with behavioral psychology in the comments section below. And for those hungry for more knowledge, we have a plethora of related videos lined up for you. Dive deep into the human psyche with us. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of behavioral psychology. Remember, understanding why people act the way they do can open up a whole new world of possibilities.